Hey, what is up, guys? I came sixth yesterday at a LLDS in Huddersfield with Stargrail of all decks. I was the only one there that actually played Stargrail, which I was kind of surprised at because there were one or two other people that did own it, but for some reason they didn't want to play it. So I played this weird-ish variant where the main combo is actually to lock your opponent out of spells with Ib and Secret Villager Spellcaster, since two Ibs together is more horrible than a Duplock. So let's just get straight into the deck profile. So I ran two Gamazeel, one Lazuli, three Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, two Reaper, three Lee, one Maxi, three Venus, two Guard Dragon, three World Legacy World Chalice, two Beacon, one Garnet, three Mystical Shine Ball, three Brilliant Fusion, one Foolish Burial, two Desires, three Secret Village of Spellcaster, one Soul Charge, two Terraforming, two Transmodify, two Twin Twisters, World Legacy Heart, Imperial Order, and a Solemn Warning. For my side, it was three DD Crows, two Denko Sekka, one Gandala, one Comongruous, two Zaphion, one Buster Dragon, two Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, two Mirror of the Ice Barrier, and one Zombie World. For the extra, it was a bit weird, but oh well. With one Dryden, one VFD, one Tornado Dragon, one Abyss Dweller, one Proxy, one Ningrisu, one Link Spider, two Imdot, three Ib, two Arm, and a Seraphonite. Now, first thing that I'll go through since I'm actually in the extra deck already, as you can see, it actually runs two cards that I can't summon in this, in the form of True King of All Calamities, or VFD, whatever the frig you want to call it, and Dryden, but that's just because of I made Reapers, and the worst two cards this deck can actually go up against is Dryden, because it disrupts your plays in the form of, if you have Venus on board and they Dryden it straight away, it kind of kills the deck, and if they hit Seraphonite, it slows down your plays a bit, but in the same circumstance, it just depends what you have. But these two are the main cards that actually slow down the deck. It doesn't completely stop it, just really, really annoying to deal with. And one other card that I would actually have in there would be an Emerald, but unfortunately, I couldn't get an Emerald that day. And I didn't run Firewalls in it because too poor again, but there never was a circumstance to summon Firewall. I always preferred just to keep my Ibs on board, so I would have Secret Village live so my opponent can't use spells. And that's really it for the extra deck, because all the other Link monsters like Topological Bomber, Gaia, and that, there was never a circumstance where I actually needed to use them. I was just fine without them. As for the side, I sided in DD Crows against mainly the Dino matchup. It worked amazing. I even sided it against True Draco just so they wouldn't have a target for a turn, so I could actually do bigger pushes. The Denkos helped a lot because I did actually go up against one True Draco player and a Chainburn. So this actually helped a lot against Chainburn because it slowed down players. And against True Draco, I had Secret Village up and then I normal Denko, so he just lost instantly. I sided in the Kaiju engine quite often, but I never really used it. It was just there for the sake of being there. Zaphions, again, sided them in, only drew them against Chainburn, and I didn't even need to use it against that. Buster Dragon, this is one of the other cards that I would have mained, except not enough people played ABC for me to bother maining it, and I didn't go up against a single ABC player, so this was there and just took up space for no bloody reason. Two Slumber, because Slumber's amazing. Two Mirror of the Ice Barrier, because the day before I was up against ABC and my opponent made Omega, and I chained Mirror of the Ice Barrier to Omega's effect, so I actually won because he had no cards left in his hand, so he couldn't do any plays and he couldn't make a Buster Dragon. So I actually had this in case my opponents played Omega Turbo, so I could actually cause a lot of hand disruption to them, as well as against Zoo, if Dryden's got Whiptail attached to it and they attack with Dryden, I can use Mirror of the Ice Barrier to get rid of Dryden and other stuff, which is pretty good, pretty good. And then one Zombie World. This is just against True Draco and Dino to an extent, because it stops the Miscellaneousaurus from being able to work and it stops Ultimate Conductor. So it's good. But if I side it in, I tend to take out either one of the secret villages. Um, but the main deck, the only thing that I'd actually change, again, as I said earlier, these should be ashes and it should be two ogres instead of reapers, and reapers should be sided. But I was too put on ashes, and no one wanted to lend me ashes, so I just had to play this weird ratio instead. As for the like spell lineup, there wasn't really anything I wanted to change. Maybe have these as cosmic cyclones, but having the twin twisters was more useful because I ended up going against one domain monarch player and against chainburn, so this helped a lot more against those two matchups. I may actually attempt to put World Legacy Heart to 2, but for now it seems to work just at 1, and Imperial Order and Solemn Warning, I ended up siding them out during game 2 because the cards are not helpful for going second, and this deck generally tries to win within its first 4 turns or so. So you don't generally end up using them. These are more like going first cards, but you don't really need them in the deck. They could work without it. It's just fine. But to get into the matches that I had, my first game was against Dinos, and it was a draw. I won game 1. He won game 2 because he top decked into Cypher and Driver of all cards and normal summoned it to just win. Game 2, I was up against Domain Monarch. I just OTK'd straight away because it's hard for Domain Monarch to play when they can't have access to their spells, and if they don't have an instant tribute outlet to Erebus, they have a really hard time getting past this. Then I was up against Chainburn. Similar thing. If he didn't draw into Blue Boy, he couldn't use his demises or anything like that, so it was a really big help. Then I was up against Cyber Dragons at table 4, which I'm still to this day wondering how Cyber Dragons got to table 4, but oh well. Again, Secret Village for the win. I forgot one of my other matches. It'll probably come back to me later. And then my last matchup, I think, was True Draco, which game 1 I won because Secret Village, and he didn't draw into any tribute outlets to out it. And game 2, I bricked really, really badly. I opened 2 Lees, 2 Secret Village, and a Terraforming, so it was 1 in every 1,000 games you will open that badly. In game 3, I didn't break too hard. It was just that I didn't have any extenders, so I had the initial stuff of like Lee and World Legacy, World Chalice, and Venus and that, but I could only get the Secret Village combo off. I couldn't actually extend the board any further, so it didn't help as much as I would want it to. And against Zoo, I wasn't able to open up the Secret Village combo straight away, so he won because he had a handful of spells that I couldn't stop any of them, and game 2 I bricked as well, so it was just horrible, completely horrible. But yeah, that's my like tournament report and deck profile of World Chalice Huddersfield LLDS. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always, and I'll be signing it now. Peace.